Bad, embarrassing.
What? The next part of like there, embarrassing. Embarrassment. The embarrassment for me is the fact of you're making me travel each Friday night.
I'm not even on the bench. I'm not even in the squad. I'm in the stands.
I'm sitting in the stands.
An important game, but I've not trained in preparation.
I'm not gonna play. Yeah, so then I'm thinking like you've got to start me, you know what I mean? And then next day, the guy turned around to me and goes, "You're not in the squad today." And then when he said that,
Heart sank, man.
so disheartened, bro. And there's a picture. I remember like after that, I didn't go back in after that. He goes, "You don't have to come back." And I sat outside. I remember like the cameraman took a picture of me. I smiled, but you could see my eyes. I was teary, watery. You know what I mean? I was trying to put on a smile, and I was just like disheartened because I'm thinking at Northampton, I was always in the squad, and then the Northampton squad that we had would have slapped the Partick Thistle team that I played in. You get me? So, and I was by far one of the better players in that Partick squad anyway. So, it basically didn't put me in the squad, and after that, I was never in the squad again. I was just always in the stands.
In the stands?
In the stands, bro.
For how?
For 6 months.
For 6 months?
For 5 months, sorry, for 5 months.
So again, at this point now, you are still contracted to Liverpool.
Yeah, so this is where it gets
and who saw, sorry, go on.
No.
Who saw that this loan?
Alex Inglethorpe.
Again, he wasn't at the forefront. He didn't speak to me about it. He sorted out the loan, but he got someone else to kind of take the fall for it.
So how I'm looking at this situation now is that this Inglethorpe has just spoken to all he knows. Right, let me just get Henoc off my back.
Yeah.
Send him up there.
Yeah.
I got a Reggie up there.
Yeah.
Yo, dog. Henoc I come. Now playing.
Yeah. So check it. So this is where I'm glad you said that, because this is where it gets very funny now. So like I said before, at Northampton, I was always in the squad. If I didn't play, you're still in the 50-man squad. Partick now, a team that's not as good, a league that's not as good or as competitive, because Celtic win it every year. The guy now, because I'm not in the squad, so I'm texting Alex now. I'm like, "Yo, you're my manager. Like,
what's going on?
I am not playing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in the squad. I'm training. I'm not improving because these men are not better than me, or the training is not as good either. Like, I could put better training sessions on than the manager's doing at the moment. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not improving. I said at least at Liverpool, even if I'm still training, I'm still improving. Playing with better players." And he's like, "You already know your position here at the club, and you know how the club feels about you. If you come here, you would be in no better position." I said, "Yeah, but I'm a Liverpool player, not a Partick player." I wish I still have a BBM, because if I had that, bro, I'd take that you know what I mean? I could literally sue these men for that.
Of course, it's unethical
it's
practice.
Negligence as well, gross negligence. So I remember like chatting to him, and I'd call him, and he'd put the phone down, or I'd catch him off guard. You know what I mean? All these things were happening, and he's basically saying to me, "If you come back," I said to him, there was one day where we went to, we played Dundee United. We went there, travelled 3 hours day before. Well, we got slapped 5-0 by a team of youths, bro. By a team that if our reserve team played that Dundee United team, would have destroyed them. Them man slapped Partick 5-0, bro. And it was an evening game, cold. I'm in the stands, 5-0.
Why did he even send you up there?
Why don't?
Mad embarrassing.
What? The next part of like there, embarrassing. Embarrassment. The embarrassment for me is the fact of you're making me travel each Friday night.
I'm not even on the bench. I'm not even in the squad. I'm in the stands.
I'm sitting in the stands. I'm a season ticket holder.
Literally, I'm not affected anything. So,
but surely Partick would have wanted to have you in the team, knowing how dark you've been for all these years. Surely it makes sense.
Unleash me, you know what I mean? Like, let me show these men what I can do. Because in training, even the players now are coming to me, "What's going on? Have you fell out with the manager? Why aren't you playing?" Because in training, I'm showing these man levels, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, "Right, like, that's that Liverpool quality right there." They're coming to me, "Have you fell out with the manager?" "No, this, that, the other." Then there was a week where I didn't train for 2 weeks because I was just training all the time. And I did like my shin. So I was getting like the acupuncture thing on my shin to get rid of the swelling. And then the physio was saying to me, "Why aren't you playing if you fell out with the manager?" I'm like, "Nah." And he's like, and then I'm like, "You should know you're part of the coaching staff, because like, leave it with me. I'm gonna go and find out what's going on." Speaks to the manager, and he's like, "Yo, the reason you're not playing is not the manager's fault. Basically, your manager at Liverpool contacted our chairman because they're cool, and they told him, get Henoc up here
Get him out the way.
Get him out the way, man.
Don't play. And then the way I look back at it now, I think it's maybe to do with my market value being higher or whatever to lower my basically
the value.
The value of myself in the market dropped. But basically they made sure that I didn't play. Like no matter how well I trained, I wasn't in the squad. You know what I mean? He was playing guys that was in their youth team, in Partick's youth team, over me.
But it still doesn't make sense just because, one, like you are a product of the Liverpool Academy and been there for 5 years. You've played above for since you've been there. You've scored important goals in important games. You've assisted. You're amongst the group of players that came through. Sterling, David,
all of them, literally.
All of them.
So for me,
Flanagan, all of them. So it would only make sense to me that they would want to have you out there in the light, playing under their badge, under their establishment. That's our player. Henoc Mukendi, he's one of our own.
And if you don't, then just release me. Yeah. That's not, because you see it happen all the time when the club would tend to, in this day and age, a club will see a player and they'll be like, oh no, he's not good enough, let's release him. I've got no problem with that, you know what I mean?
Because I could go somewhere else and done it.
Literally, I need not even just for myself, but other people, but it's just with me, it's like they just strung me along. So I'm in Scotland now, so I remember texting my man, I was like, look, I am coming back. So after that day, I was like, this is embarrassing. I remember I went to the change room, I had to go at half of the players. I'm like, yo, that's fucking embarrassing. I'm here on loan, 3 hours away from my family. I'm in the stands, I'm training well, but I'm in the stands, and you're not putting out performances like that. So that's fucking embarrassing. I got my shit, went back under the coach, and the manager was like vexing me. I'm like, I don't care, because you man are playing the game. The chairman has brought me up here on some scheme to try and please whoever his friend is. And I text the manager, Alex, I was like, yo, I am coming back on Monday. This, that, yo, and he turned around to him and said, listen, if you come back on Monday, you're going to get suspended and you're going to get fined because you're breaking your loan contract.
Contractual agreement.
And I'm thinking, at that point, I'm not playing, I'm not happy, I'm not doing this. The only thing I've got at the time is the fact that I'm getting paid. So I don't want to fuck up my money now, you know what I mean? So that's the only thing I had going from India, and I've stayed there. And then this is where it gets really funny now. So when I've been told this recently because, like I said, I've still got contacts that were at the club. Basically, they were planning now. Basically, this is how I know about the whole market value thing, because they was planning my exit. You get me? They was now saying they was gonna just tell me they was gonna release me whilst I was at Partick on loan. You get me? And then the guy that became head of player care used to be my under 15s manager. He then became head of player care. When he found out that they were going to release me whilst I'm in Partick,
he brought you back.
No. He said, nah, let me go up first, give him a heads up. Let me chat to him, because I've known him since he was a kid. He's a good kid.
It's not fair. It's not
right. He drove off his own back, because it was like, oh, if you're gonna do that, it's up to you. Or we're gonna release him when he gets back. So he's drove up. At first I used to think like they just sent him up in it, but I spoke to him recently in it, and he was like, yo, nah, this is what
I chose to off my own accord.
I came up, drove up 4 hours, came up to see you, and he was telling me that when you come back, they're going to force you to take the payoff. But that pissed me off now, because I was like, when I asked them for the payoff the year before,
you didn't want to give it, man.
They didn't want to give it to man, but now you're going to offer me some pennies to leave.
So they've lowered your market value. Then they're going to offer you a payoff because it's less.
It's right for them.
And then the chief, so I'm like, I said to him, like, cool. When I come back, I said, I'm not going to accept it, but we'll talk in it. And he's like, oh, is everything else okay? At that point, I'm just vexed. I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. You know, obviously, mentally, I wasn't good, you know what I mean? I've gone back. So then that same week, not even that same week, the next day, sorry. So the guy from Liverpool's come up, spoke to me. The next day, Partick manager pulls me in. We're ending your loan. You've not played. It's not gone how we wanted to. So this weekend, instead of travelling over with us up to flipping Aberdeen now, which is even further, you can go back to Liverpool. So I just said, yeah, safe, whatever. Went there, said bye to a couple of people that I got with, like the players, packed up my stuff, and I've gone back to my digs in Liverpool, because I moved back into my digs instead of my apartment. Spoke with them, and then Liverpool, Alex now, he's now turned around to me and he's like, instead of training, this is like beginning of December, instead of training, he said, come back in January. So I'm like, wait, I'm contracted to Liverpool, so you want me to basically spend close to a month without training, or to train on my own? How does that work? You know what I mean? So then after that signing, I've gone back home to my mum's, and then a couple of days before Christmas, we get told, yeah, you've got to be back to Liverpool on the 27th because we've got an important game.
Of December?
Yeah, 27th, just after Boxing Day. So I can't even go out Boxing Day with my friends now that you've ruined my rude anyway.
You've got an important game, but I've not trained in preparation.
I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna play the game. You get me?
Yeah.
But he's like, no, we've got an important game. So report back on the 27th. I've gone back on the 27th. Train 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, and then New Year's Eve comes. We've been told, yeah, you know, you got the game on the 3rd or the 4th, whenever it was. Nobody. I don't want to hear about anyone going out. Everyone in. New Year's Day, we want to train hard. So I'm thinking, cool. Like, I know they're offering me a payoff. We're gonna chat about it next week, but let me do it as I saying it. I've not gone out. I'm chilling. I've come in or whatever. Bro, that same day, I'm coming New Year's Day. Half of the players have turned up drunk. There were 2 players that parked the car and they went out clubbing, drank, and they parked the car after the night out into the car park, and they fell asleep in the car park after the night out.
Rose up for training.
And Rose waked up for training, just walked in. They were telling me, I was thinking, rah.
Yeah. And I've been here.
I had an early night, New Year's Eve, but when I could have been turning up, you know what I mean, knowing that I'm not going to play. And then
Professionalism.
The fitness coach who we had at the time, who's now like high up at Man United somehow, he's came in drunk. We was meant to train for an hour and a half. We trained for 20 minutes, bro. It was that bad. I went crazy at everyone.
Livid.
I was going on these man, like, you man are just taking the piss out of life. And after that, the next day, the manager comes to me, head you kicked off. I said, yeah, because
these man are boss, what do you mean?
Yeah, that kicked
Kicking off at me.
It's come to me. So I'm like, yo, like, I'm not playing and I'm being professional. These guys that you're giving the opportunities to aren't being professional, and you want to have a go at me. I said, nah, allow it. Anyway, we've had the conversation with them. They now come to me. Like, I figured out how much I was owed in it, and then they've turned on to me and they basically lowballed me by like $8,000, and then office. So I was basically owed like 28 grand between January and July. They've came to me and said, yeah, we'll give you 20 grand. I said, no, you're lowballing by $8,000. Like, give me my money. You get me? If you give me my money now, I'll leave. I'm like, no, we're only offering you 20, not 28. I'm like, nah, I want 28.
But that's after your market value was already being on 700, 800.
If they'd paid me the year before, they took like 80 grand. I left.
Yeah, percentage of what your actual,
I'd have signed another club on more money and a 5-year deal would have been nice. You know what I mean? But anyway, they've offered me 20 grand. I'm like, nah, I'm not taking it. Not doing it. Can't. You get me? And then the reason I was accepting the payoff basically was because, so at the time I was a Congo international, so I played for Congo under 18s, under 19s, under 20s, and I was the captain for the under 20s. And the African Nations under 20s Cup was starting in Feb, I think. So I'm thinking, let me take my piece from here. Let me cut.
Fly out.
And I'm a free agent now. I'm going to be captain for Congo. We were some of the favourites. I mean, they reached the semi-finals that year without me. But I'm thinking,
if I'm in that squad,
I am doing a madness.
We're going minute. Yeah,
we're going all the way. Like, no two ways about. Because we had a cold squad that year, Kipembe and all them that were like, you know what I mean? I was their captain that year. Boom. So I'm thinking, this is my plan now. You get me? This is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. Give me my money, 28 grand. I'm going to go away with Congo. And I'm, you know what I mean, fresh stuff. Because all the games are even on TV. They've turned around again like, no, we're not going to do it. And then Congo sends the letter. And then Liverpool have now turned around to me and said, no, you can't go to the African Nations because Congo are not paying for your flights to go there.
I'll pay it.
Give me 28 grand. And
I'll pay it.
Every time I went away with them, I always paid.
Yeah, anyway.
I always paid anyway, and then they'd return the money to me. And that's how this was going to work. So I pay, whether it's a train ticket, whether it's a flight, whatever, and they always return the money to me after the camp. You get me? I told them, like, this is what's happening. I was, no, when the players go away with England, they get picked up in a Mercedes. England sorts.
I'm not an English international. I'm Congolese. So give me the bread. Yeah, literally. Me gone. You get me? So
cutting
out.
Happened. They wouldn't literally. Like, basically, they've messed up me going with Congo, basically, for the African Nations. And that, if you go...
If you violate your contractual, fine, termination, all of that.
Fined. You get me, like...
And then it's going to be Henoc Mukendi player, all in the tabloids, all in this black guy.
At the same time, my man is still threatening me, saying, look, the way you're going on, I can make these phone calls, you won't play in England again, I'm thinking, I just want my peas. And once I leave, at least I got a little bit of bread there that'll give me a bit of time.
I can support myself to do this shit.
Because I know it might take about a month or two to find a team now, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to get my old contacts back and stuff like that. So that's happened. And then basically, they've stopped me from going to the African Nations where they knew that I was going to get the opportunity. And after that, the rest of that season, he made me train with the youth team. Like, after that, and I was when I trained with the reserves, I trained in centre back, and then trained with the youth team, centre back, youth team, centre back, youth team. But then I was training really well, and then this is like March, April times, where there's like a month left, and there's like 2 months after the season, and then they've pulled me for a meeting. They're like, even though you've not been playing many games, so I played 2 games behind closed doors as a centre back. I've done really well, and then the Michael Beale and Mike Garrity pulled me for a meeting. They were like reserve managers at the time, because this guy Alex became academy director now, so he got promoted.
Michael Beale's QPR manager now,
QPR manager, so he was our youth team manager. So he's now pulled me to a meeting. Him and a guy called Mike Garrity, they pulled me to a meeting saying, "You're doing really well. How would you feel about playing as a centre back for Liverpool if we extended your contract by a year?"